So I'm reacting to all the hot takes, and I'm showing why there's a lot more going on beneath the headlines. If you're looking for a new camera and trying to figure out, should you update to the FX2, should you buy this as a first camera, etc., I want to cover a few things first. There's a lot of realities that are all happening at the exact same time. So the loudest voices in the room, the cine community, they want cutting edge specs, they want all the frame rates, they want open gate, fancy color science, they want global shutter, they want the whole 9 yards, right? Then there's the run and gun folk. Prize ergonomics, they prize battery life, ease of use, ruggedability, how well something stands up, etc. There's also another reality. There's the mirrorless steel folk. The Sony Alpha A1, Sony Alpha A2, the A9. Think about it, just high megapixels, 50 megapixels in IBIS. That's what those folks want. But here's the thing that I want you to understand. Come in here real quick. Listen to me. The thing that I want you to understand is that none of them are wrong. None of them have the wrong perspective in regards to what they need to be successful in what they do. They're different groups. There are different people that simply represent different needs. And so it can be pretty confusing why a single camera can feel like that's an old piece of crap, and at the same time it can be a complete game changer for others. So let's go over the features of the FX2. I'm not gonna go over all of them, but I'm go over the ones that I think are important. It's a 33 megapixel full frame sensor. It's the exact same sensor that is in this, which is my Sony A7C2. It's 4K 30, full frame, 4K 60 with a 1.5x crop. That sucks. But there's 33 megapixel stills as well, and it's also an S-Log3. It's AI-powered autofocus and real-time subject recognition. That's like all the newest updates, like train, car, auto, like all of those things, birds, animals, all of that. It's 7K oversampled down to a 4K frame, basically, and that makes it just crispy sharp. Absolutely love that sensor. It's 10-bit 422 internally and 16-bit raw output. Now it has everything: S-Cinetone, S-Log3, HLG, Rec 709, in-body, 5-axis optical stabilization, as well as a new dynamic active mode and AI frame stabilization, which is basically sit it down on a tripod and it'll follow you around either way. Has the built-in 3.68 million dot OLED viewfinder, which is a 0 to 90 degree tilt. That's something that people have been asking for years in a cinema camera, and I don't know why people are upset about it all of a sudden. It's CF Express Type A and dual SD card slot. So one of them is dual, it's Type A and SD, and then the bottom one is just SD. And then it also has USB-C, HDMI out streaming, Wi-Fi, and Ethernet streaming. You get into A7C2 with the cinema camera build because it has the magnesium alloy cinema camera look. Definitely an upgraded A7C2, and you're actually getting an upgraded A7 IV as well, because you're getting upgraded features and you're fixing the overheat problems that came along with that particular camera. Not everybody had them, but I definitely have had them in the A7C. You cannot stream with that camera 15 to 30 minutes in. It is shutting off regardless of the overheat feature or the high heat feature set to off and auto off turned off. But let's talk about why some of these features are old or outdated to some people, but they're new to others. So we're going to talk about product lifecycle. A lot of my career professionally, 7 years, have been in operations within the retail space, and then within the last year and a half, operations within IT consulting. So product lifecycle is a very big deal when it comes to these products, and I'll get to why that is after I discuss 3 particular things. So this is the simple edition of the product lifecycle, if you will, and it's going to cover what a roadmap is as well. The first phase of a product lifecycle is the ideation phase. That is the internal research and development, the market research, and partner feedback. That's basically when Sony internally looked at their tech scope, their development life cycle, products that they have in the market research of folks that have bought their cameras that they've sent out for review. It took all those different things, those different vantage points from different areas, and they decided to make this camera and they put it on their roadmap. The next part of product life cycle is the development phase. That's the prototyping. They build, 10 to 15, maybe 20, maybe 50 prototypes, different variations of what the product could be, the different features it can have. They build those things internally, and then they do firmware tuning. Firmware is the software that goes on the inside of this camera. What is the algorithm for the AI when it's autofocusing on the bird versus a cat versus a dog? Then they start to do the field testing. That's where they themselves go out into the field and they test the product. Towards the end of the field testing, they start sending out review samples. And at that point, it's pretty much a done product. That's the development phase, from prototyping to field testing, 12 to 18 months on average. And then from there, you go to the release and support. Now, release and support is where we are today. It hit the market, the announcement came out, all of the marketing materials is going out to the different retailers. It's going to release, you're going to be able to purchase it. There's going to start being firmware updates because they're going to start seeing bugs that they didn't know about during their original testing in the controlled environments. But what I really want you to take away from this, those three areas, they are a part of Sony's roadmap. Your typical roadmap is going to be multiple years out in advance, typically sometimes 3 in tech. And so this product, what I really want you to understand is not, come in here again, get close when you listen to this. This product is not a response to the Lumix S12, the S12E, or the S1R2, or any of the other cameras, the Canon RV50. Like, it's not a response to any of the cameras from the competitors on the market whatsoever. This was a part of Sony's roadmap. A roadmap is when you internally decide what you're going to do over the next year, 2 years, and 3 years. Now, there's definitely some things that you can change on the roadmap within like a given period, if you will, iterations, if you will. But there are certain things you cannot change. Once you have decided on the version of the camera and you have built the molds, you've decided on the floor space at the manufacturer, you decided on the materials used to build that product, you started to order those materials and all that different stuff. You can't go back on those things. You're kind of locked in and you're gonna live with the results of what you have decided to that point. You can definitely change some of the features within the camera, like the smaller software-based things and, in iterations and releases of software development lifecycle, but not the overall product lifecycle. You don't see the S12 come out in whatever it was, February and March, and decide not to release a product that you have been working on for 2.5 years. You don't do that. It doesn't work like that. So that's where I think that a lot of people are going in on Sony. Sony, you know better. This is a ridiculous release. How could you ever do that? Where does this product fall? Where does it sit? In my opinion, my personal opinion and my vantage point and the way that I use my tools, I see this as the entry-level full-frame cinema camera into Sony's lineup. Right? You had 2020 to 2021, the A7S III from announcement to release, FX3, A7 IV, A7C2, A7CR, the Alpha 1, the Alpha A12, the FX30, ZV-E10, the ZV-E10 Mark II, the ZV-E1. You've had a bunch of cameras released in the last 3 years at Sony, right? This is your entry-level cinema film camera that's full frame that can be used both in photography and videography. I have an A7S III as my main camera right there. I would love to take that camera off and start using it in my B-roll shots for the 4K 120 and top down. But the FX2 to replace my A7S III, and $2,700 is a pretty good price for everything that it gives me. I could stream the whole damn day, all 9 to 10 meetings that I have throughout the day, and not worry about it because I have a built-in fan. That entry-level cinematographer, that entry-level filmmaker, that entry-level person that is upgrading from the ZV-E10 Mark II and they're ready for a real camera, but they're not willing to spend the FX3 money, or they don't necessarily need open gate and global shutter and all those things. They're gonna just, because it has the built-in mount points, they're just gonna tip their camera when they need vertical versus being able to shoot horizontal and vertical at the same time, because they may not need to do that. Simple workflows. They might be fresh out of film school and they're getting their first camera on a parent's budget or something. Who knows, right? And so there's a different budget when you start to think about the FX2 as well, versus those folks that are going with the FX3 and they're using cinema glass and things like that. There's a lot of different vantage points is what I really want to get 2 in this video, and none of them are wrong. So if you don't like the camera, don't buy it. Wait for the next one. This won't be the last camera they're going to release. This may not be the one for you. You can definitely enjoy your current Sony glass, pick up the S12E and use some, L mount lenses and things like that. You can do all of those things, and all of those realities exist at the exact same time. Whoa, it's been a long day watching some of these videos, but I definitely think the camera is worth the market price, or worth the money for what it is and what it fixes, and for the people that are going to use it and find value in it. So I don't know, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As always, stay cozy in that crazy world, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.